Hello. I am Dr. Wilhelmina and here to tell you about the experience. And this is what we've been recording about lately, our experience with basically a scammer. But it was a big one, a big scam. But
Started off right.
yes, but today there is me and
Hey, everybody, I'm Coach Felicia. Really good to be here. Yeah. Thank you for Mina. I can't thank you enough for deciding to do this. I hope everybody's having a good time, and we're really excited to have you join us for this episode today.
that's right. So we,
Yeah,
we, we chunked it up into pieces. And today we're talking about authority, right?
yeah, authority.
So I keep saying every episode, you're the customer, be a good customer. And I even did a post this week about, making sure that you get what you're promised or that you make sure you evaluate and research whatever you're doing. So, this is why we're talking about authority. You want to start with authority?
Um, yeah, questioning authority. There are times where we're afraid. We don't want to be the first one to say, "Oh, I got a question," because we might get kicked out of the club.
Like you?
Yeah, but it's like there's this you want to question it. You're afraid, seriously, right?
Yeah.
And it's like whoever is leading the group, and it's not just about our experience with this
Yeah.
particular individual, but we were talking before the show about whether it's a pastor, it could be law enforcement in any dynamic, right? It's like you don't want to get in trouble,
Mhm.
and it's like when you go to ask a question, and we kind of touched base a little bit on some of this too, and you're going to find that we're touching base on this throughout every topic, because it all is kind of it intermeshes, right? It's like intertwined. um,
Mhm.
but yeah, questioning the authority, it's like, and why is it that we're so afraid
Why?
to stand up and say something,
Mhm.
and we were, I did,
Yeah,
but
we were.
again, kicked out. But yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want to be ostracized because we'll talk later about silence, but that was part of the silence. We were silenced because we don't want to be ostracized or kicked out of the group or somebody's like, running and telling it that you were questioning the authority, but really, you have
Mhm.
rights. We,
Yeah, it's your right.
mm,
It's your right to, especially if you buy into something like a
yeah,
program, right? And you have a right, I think, and I don't know, because some people may disagree with me on this, but it's like, even if you're going to, or if you practice organized religion, whatever your faith is, if you have a question of your pastor, your priest, your deacon, Dr. Doug, I don't know, but anyway, if you have a question, you should have a right to be able to ask a question. If you see them or hear them do or say something that's inappropriate, why, or that made you feel some kind of way, why why aren't you able to feel safe enough to be able to do that?
mhm,
And I don't think that we felt, um, a lot of the folks in this group in particular felt safe enough to be able to do that, right? And so instead, what they did was they found themselves like deflecting, right? It's like, okay, I
mhm.
didn't, she ain't talking to me. Ooh, here, let me turn my camera off for a second. you know,
Ah,
or you would, and you'd avoid it altogether,
mhm,
right? And it's like, and we were all grown women. It's like, even in our experience, it's like, um, although we were adults, we still, I think we all, she kind of triggered something in each of us of
mhm.
that child that was in there too. I think
Yeah,
that was part of, like, even though we're older, that child was still like, whoa, wait a minute, this is kind of familiar.
yeah,
I felt this before. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
After school, meet me after school, right?
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, do you think any of her? the two letters in front of her name. Do you think that was any part of it? And we're thinking of her as an authority. She knows. She's done conferences. She's written a book. She's got people supporting her. So many people supporting her, holding her up. Who are we to question her? I think that might be part of it too.
I didn't give two craps. And I still don't give two craps. And it's like, and no disrespect to you, right?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
proud of you. You
cool.
got the DR in front of your name,
Yeah,
but for me, it's like, and I get it. People have put in the time, they've studied, they've done the papers, they paid the money, whatever they had to do, right?
yeah,
And it's not that I'm trying to be disrespectful, but for me, I see you as a regular person, right?
right,
I see
right.
you as
Yeah,
human. And
yeah,
it's like, I still don't give two craps
yeah,
about letters in front of or
yeah.
behind your. I don't care. I don't care.
Talking about the dang group, girl, the group of people who saw her do all of this stuff, especially the ones that were like really up under her. I mean, we didn't know at that time the real deal, you know. For us, it
Yeah.
was like for real in front of us. So I wonder if some of them, some of the young ones, the ones not so secure in themselves, maybe thought, ooh, this is something I'm going to learn from her.
I don't know if it was because of necessarily the DRs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was her delivery because that's what got me. It
Mm-hmm.
was more the delivery, and it was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to help us. We're going to do this as a community. I mean, I know I've said that many times, as we've done these, but that really is at the heart of
Mm-hmm.
why I stayed in,
Yeah.
right? Um,
What about
and
the confrontation? I'm cutting you off, I know, but what about the
oh no,
confrontation? Was that part of you don't want to make a fuss and have a confrontation with her, especially because she don't play fair
okay, wait a minute though. But which part? Because
all the time.
yeah, yeah. It's like I think there was a part of me with the confrontation that I didn't want to ruin it for
Yeah.
some of the other women, right? And that goes back to what is it, the group dynamic? I think
Mm-hmm.
because you could see how, like, if I did ask something or say something,
Yeah.
you could see everybody's in who has their camera on. I'm like, oh boy, it's like here she go. you know? And I
Oh,
don't think I
damn.
was really making a fuss. I wasn't really making a fuss. Think about it though. I
Yeah.
didn't like get on there and like really, it was like simple questions.
Stuff. Well, we were spinning our wheels, so I can
Yeah.
see someone brave would ask the question, but she gonna pretend like she don't see that little cartoon hand come up.
No, no. Even if you raise it up, trust, I had mine up, I think,
Yeah,
before in the camera, right? It's like,
she go to everybody,
yeah.
everybody else.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But we
Yeah.
were
So,
spinning our wheels, man, spinning our wheels, and I just kept having this need to move forward because I came into it with I got some ideas and I want to do this. I want us to whatever we're gonna do. And once I found out what we were supposed to be doing, I was like, oh, I'm ready. I want to do this. Although we ain't gonna talk about me and the camera again. But yeah, it was a
yeah.
bomb. It was a bust for me. It turned out to be that way for me. Like, what a huge, well, not a waste of time. We did have some good things come out of it for
Oh,
us,
absolutely.
but it wasn't because of her. She just
Yeah.
brought it together.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think if I were to offer somebody some advice, it's like, we've already mentioned it.
Yeah,
It's your right to ask those
it
questions.
is. Yeah, yeah.
And even if you've already paid into the program, sometimes it's good to just to call it a wash, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, I think, um, there are people that want to hold on and they
Mm-hmm.
want to stay in it, right? Because it's like, I've already paid my money, like us, I want to pay my
Yeah.
money. Then not only was it the money that we paid, but it was like, we're kind of liking some of the women that are in there. They're kind of
Yeah.
cool as
Yeah.
hell, right? And, but then it's like the way it affects you, right? Which is
Mhm.
something that I am hoping that we'll be able to touch base on tonight too, right? It's like, it affected us emotionally,
Right. It
right?
did.
Yeah, and it's like, how, I mean, what do you remember for yourself? Like, how did it? Other than
Well,
one, like beat her up because she. No, no, no. You wouldn't do that.
I
You
mean,
would.
I think about my other situation, and I really found myself because I'm thinking about the end result. I'm
Mm,
not all up in the middle, like, blah, 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 blah. I'm out at the end going, okay, this is my stepping stone for whatever. And so with the
mm,
other situation, it was the same thing too. I would say that that person was connected to somebody that is absolutely 100% amazing and doing things and always doing things and giving back to the community and just, oh, you know. So
yeah.
with that person being supported by that, famous person, I thought that maybe someday the conversation could happen that, oh, I have this wonderful stuff that, you might want to look at this. Maybe I thought maybe someday, not right
Mhm.
away, get my business out there, do my thing, sell a lot, and then maybe come back to it. But I was going to make a connection. I thought so. I was like, yes,
Mhm.
but so I didn't like put her on the hot seat or anything like that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be my nicest, sweetest person, and I trusted because of that connection. I knew that that was someone that was above board and wasn't going to be that a crook. So if she was connected to him, oh,
Mm,
good. I
okay.
trusted because of that.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, and it wasn't the actual job she did was not horrible. It was just issues with the job she did. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't, but that's why I didn't ask a lot of questions. I just believed and followed. Okay, okay, yes, good idea. And I did it. But it's a good lesson.
Uh, yeah. Oops, upside the head for
Expensive
all of
lesson. It's an expensive lesson. But
us. Yeah. I don't know. I think when I think back, I emotionally, emotionally, I was having quite a few conversations with myself.
yeah, I didn't do
Right.
that.
I beat myself up a little bit.
Mm,
Um, it didn't last very long, but any time is too much time, right?
yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
I think I felt like a sense of shame. I
Mm,
felt the judgment, right? I didn't really say much to anybody outside of the group
yeah.
dynamic that we continue to stay in contact with about it because
Mm.
I didn't want anybody to say, girl, I could have told you, and that,
They
you
couldn't.
know, huh?
They couldn't.
N- I don't know. There was probably some that was like, really?
For
And they
us,
didn't.
while we were in it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
because it was like, no, we're going. We're gonna make
Mhm.
this happen because yeah, it was just anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I just felt I felt a ton of like emotions
Yeah.
and I know I'm always talking about the body thing, and I could feel the way that it was affecting me, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like when we have to hold that in, and there's no, I mean, I could talk to you guys about it, like when you're available or when we could get together, in our small group.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like after that you're really processing what what happened, right? And then it's like, you go through the what is
Yeah.
it? The valleys, for a little bit with that. And it's like, okay, you know what? There comes a point where it's like there's this acceptance.
Yeah.
Okay, it happened. But what did you get? Like you said, right? What did you
Which,
get out of this? I got something more. And it's like we can stop. And that's why I like in reaching out again and us reconnecting, right? Because I think you and I pretty much still
yeah,
out
we
of stayed in contact. But then it's like, I was really happy that they, some of the other group, folks in the group responded and we were able to connect. And it was like, you know what? Bump this. We can still do this.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not going to let this person and that experience stop us from doing what's really in our hearts and what we believe in, you know. So, and I still believe in it. I
Mm-hmm.
do. So, but yeah, it really, I was really bummed for a bit.
Yeah, I didn't give myself too much of a hard time about it because when it was done, and I was out, and it wasn't like major amount of money, but it was too much to give away, and so I was okay. I was a little embarrassed, but the people that I did talk to outside of that group, they were supportive. I didn't get any like you're stupid or why'd you do no, none of that. But there are people in my life that I did not tell about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't say too
Close
much.
to me because they'll like, oh, I don't want to hear it. I already learned the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
yeah, no, I don't think you guys know, you know.
yeah,
Uh maybe one or two other people that are close to me, you know,
yeah.
but
Well, more people
I'm
are going
like,
to in a minute.
I don't need to keep talking about that story, you know.
Yeah,
But until we decided to do this, now
yeah.
deciding to do this, it's like, okay, now people are gonna know you guys know
They have
uh,
access
do
to
and you
the
don't, yeah, you have
information.
access to it. Yeah. And I'll admit it's like it actually feels better. You
Yeah,
know, it's like when we get on here and we talk. I mean, I love meeting. I'm so happy that we're doing it
yeah,
because I'm able to let some of it out, you know, and not, you don't think that you're still holding on to it, but I think low key, there's still that residue. I'm
yeah,
like, hey, can we meet for coffee? And
yeah.
you got to make sure I want to see your money up front that you can pay for your first. Let's have coffee in the chat. Yeah. So,
Though, what I hang on to, what bothers me the most, is the fact that others are getting the
yeah.
same cheat that we have experienced. So I want people to know so bad, but um, I'll just keep dropping hints.
And the thing with that too is it's like it's kind of like a catch 22.
Yeah,
Because if someone had said something to us,
yeah,
we know what we're doing,
yeah,
right? Uh,
yeah,
and it's like when I don't go and check, but you know, like one time I did, like I
yeah,
think in one of the episodes I talked about seeing a video that came across, you know,
yeah,
um, thousands of followers,
yeah.
thousands of followers,
She draws
and
them in.
huh?
She draws them in.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like it makes me kind of jump back to that what we were talking about earlier in the questioning authority, right? Because she's doing it from a platform of that's like religious based, or I guess, or
Yeah,
something like that. And it's like it's really unfortunate because there are people who go to those communities, and
hmm,
they're going to those communities because it's supposed to be a safe haven,
yeah. It is.
right? And when you have someone who's in a
Mm,
position of power or authority, if we want to give that to her or him, whoever it is, I don't care.
yeah,
It's like the trust that's broken, and the
yeah.
people, there are times where they leave and they
Mm,
want nothing to do with it,
right.
you know, because of that experience.
Hmm. I did that for a while. I was going to a small church. I mean, there was probably 6 to 10 people in the church, and I loved the people though. Don't get me wrong. Until this lady and her daughter joined. Her daughter was a little sweetheart. They joined, and then the drama started.
Oh,
And I know that she came because she needed help at the church. She needed help. And she was getting the help that she needed, housing, food. She was getting all that with such a small membership, right? She was getting that. But she was so ugly to me. And I believe she was jealous, but I don't know what it was. But she was so ugly that I got to the point where I was like, I can't do this no more. I mean, I literally quit going to the church where my child was like, are we gonna keep going? Are we gonna go? Like she wanted to go.
oh wow,
And I was like, no, we're not going. We're finding a new church. We're not going there anymore. So,
wow!
yes,
Isn't
yes.
that something?
Hmm. She was in. I think at that time she was still. She had just started high school, and she was like, oh, what? She made all these friends and everything. No, I can't. I just can't because it made it really ugly. And the woman was always focused on me. And the thing is, she became the pastor's assistant because the thing is, like I said, it was so small, the church, and she called herself a prophetess, and
Mhm.
she knew the Bible like it was
Mhm.
her life. She knew it so well. So she was a good help to him
Mhm.
in that way, but she was dirty and ugly as far as her personality other than that.
Mhm.
So I was like, I left it and went and found another one. But yeah, my child was actually trying to get me to go back. It's crazy. But yeah, it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't know. It's like there's so many places that
Yeah.
are, and I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer or anything, but it's like, places of worship. It's like it's really disappointing. Even though I don't go to a particular
Hmm.
place of worship, I think that it should be so that people need
Hmm.
somewhere that they can feel safe. you
Right.
know I mean, because there are so many people right now that aren't feeling safe at home, at work,
Yeah.
uh in their community,
Yeah.
and they when they come into the church, they don't need all the drama and the chaos. It's more drama and chaos
Yeah.
sometimes in
Sometimes.
those places. And I can remember years ago, and okay, so I'll just say, yeah, my sister could cuss like a sailor. One of them, she's transitioned many years ago. So I'm
Oh.
gonna share this, and I don't know what it was, but it's like I was in town, went to church with them, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, fine, I'll go. So I go, and we're on the church steps, and she's mad at somebody about something. I don't even know what it was, but it was like she's cussing like a drunk saint on the steps of the church, and
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you can't be doing that. You're on the church steps. She goes, I don't give a blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
You gonna get struck. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wait a minute, this is, so for me, I mean, things like that were things that affected me when I saw. Anyway, that's a whole nother podcast. See, I'm getting ready to go down this rabbit hole, but
Look, people are just being themselves. They're being who they are when they're not
yeah,
in church. So yeah, you shouldn't do all that. And I don't I don't fault them too much because they've got to change their life altogether. You got to be not. You can't be
yeah,
doing it at home and then going to church and thinking you're not. It's never
no,
coming out because
she
when
was straight across the board. She was like that
yeah,
all the time. That
hmm
was just that
it
was
be
just who she was.
themselves, but hopefully working
That
out.
was who she was.
So
But yeah. So I think I don't know. Do you have anything more? What would you?
there was a second half we were going to talk about.
We did.
We did. What was it?
That was the cost of silence, like being quiet.
Oh yeah, how it hurts others. Well, I didn't
How?
get to say this about the cost of silence and
Yeah.
the
Go.
cost of silence that bothers me. Like I said, is the people that we left when we left. All those people that were there, especially some of the young ones that just didn't get it, and I feel like you know.
Mm,
I don't know. I don't want to take on everybody's problems and go and try to talk to everybody. This isn't because it's going to be just drama. But I feel like maybe some of them might have been a little bit on the verge and would have also left if they knew.
you think?
I think some of them would have. Maybe not the ones that are just all up in her, but I think maybe they would have. I feel guilty about that, and I feel guilty that we aren't talking about it in a way that people can know exactly
Well, we're not done yet, man.
and what it is. Shoot, I mean, I've been giving y'all hints without telling you. You
Yeah, but
better,
we got to put it on TikTok, and you say, "Hey, TikTok, do your thing,"
yeah.
and they find them, and they have a picture within like less than an
Oh,
hour. I'm like, God, dog, are you
into
serious?
the side by side.
Yeah, it's like, and this is what kind of car they drive, and this is where they work,
Oh
and they
Lord,
lost
they
their job and
investigate.
got fired.
What about
Yeah.
the people that do things like they say have a racial rant on some application, one of the apps, and then they get canceled? they lose their job,
Yeah.
whatever. They get
Yeah.
canceled because they thought they were just having their own rant in their own day. Somebody, the wrong person saw it, or they put it out there. Somebody saw it, and then boom, now they're canceled. They don't have their job anymore because you can't do that and then be working at this place.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And actually, I'm not going to go into that because it's like I could just go on. I saw something on YouTube,
Yeah,
and yeah, we'll talk about that maybe on a different
another one.
episode or
Yeah.
series. But yeah, just somebody who people being rude in the gym. I need to do something.
Oh,
Being rude to people who are in the gym. Maybe someone that is working out and they make fun where they film them and then they post it.
oh,
Yeah, it's and I'm like, wow,
yeah,
yeah, I need to do something on that because I don't know. I'm very passionate, about the gym. Been a gym rat for a very long time, and um, I think everybody should feel comfortable going into the gym.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was a bit
Don't worry.
puzzled for a time, huh?
Yeah, go ahead. They shouldn't have to worry about that, but go ahead.
No, they shouldn't.
No.
But I understand now better, right? With all of this, with the phones and the videos and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, that I really need to do something on that, like
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. I'd be really hurt if somebody did a video of my flat butt and decided to put it out there saying I
Yeah,
get a booty or whatever. I already know. You ain't got to tell me. I already know what it looked like.
yeah, yeah.
You,
It's
I
just not.
talked about it. But I would be hurt if somebody did that. Well, actually, it's not like I've never had anybody do something like that. So let me just say that. So, and here I am in front of this camera, still doing what I need to do,
Yes.
even
Yeah.
though, yeah, yeah, it's kept me. It just made me more brave, so I
Mhm.
can just be me. And here I am sitting here talking about my flat butt and don't care, you know.
Yeah.
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 Hmm. So anyway, that is
Well,
the end of this podcast, huh?
yeah, I think so.
This is
Um,
really not a podcast. Is it a
Conversation.
vlog? It's a
Talking about it.
vlog, right? A
Mhm.
vlog? Yeah.
Is it all? I don't
It's
know.
a vlog, VLOG.
We're
Vlog.
still new at this stuff.
We don't know.
We're
But
learning as we go, hoping
we,
that you pick up something from it. If
we
we can, in the midst of our conversation, whatever we're talking about, hopefully you're picking something up out of
just
this
gotta listen.
that'll be helpful. Um, Maybe it'll help you to avoid if you'd like for us to talk a little bit more on something, I'll say that. You can, add a comment on the YouTube channel and just ask, right? And
Yeah.
then, we can narrow it down more. We're just trying to be mindful. Yeah, we're trying to be mindful right now of
Hmm.
how we deliver this. We're just trying to share our experience and decide as we go how much
Yeah.
to share.
But
And
I'm Bruce Cannon. Don't forget.
Sure.
If anybody's gonna drop
I
it,
don't
it's
care.
gonna be me.
Yes. But yeah, just
Yeah.
ask questions. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just take a deep breath, even if you're scared. That's something that I would offer you. Ask questions, count in your head 1, 2, 3, and just blurt it out if you have to. And for you, Mina, it's like when it comes to if someone else in the group, if you're getting it and they're not getting it, be brave enough to speak up and say, "Hey, can you give me
Right.
a call? Can I DM you or can we
Yeah.
chat?" And yeah, you might be taking a risk that they're
Yeah.
going to stitch you out and you're going to get kicked out of the group. But either way, you
Yeah.
did your part and you don't have to continue to carry that.
No.
So yeah, and
No.
I don't think you should carry
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you should carry that.
Yeah. I'm
That's a
feeling.
lesson for them as well.
I'm worried about the future people that don't know. I don't know. I want to advocate for them. So I
Yeah,
want.
they're learning. They're learning too. So, all
All
right,
right.
folks. Thanks a lot for tuning
Have a
in.
beautiful day. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.